Well, hello. How are you doing this morning, afternoon, evening, night? Whatever time of day it comes from this planet. I actually just did a video like 30 minutes ago. The video before this, the running chest challenge. Go check that out. But I've been outside all day. Did that video, walked around a little bit. And I was like, you know what, I'm feeling good. Let me go ahead and make another video. Don't have a challenge for this video, but I do have a story time. So before I get into the story time, let us go ahead and discover who the universe has chosen for today's opponent. Vanadium 00000. How are you doing? So yeah, I got a story time for this video, and before I get into the story time, I have to make the disclaimer: I do not encourage the use of mind-altering substances. This is my experience. Please do not replicate. So yeah, this was I think this was last year, and it was during homecoming. I'm not going to say the homecoming of the specific school. Just know that it was homecoming, and I was with my friends, or I was with one of my friends. He was staying over at my house. We were all with my parents, and we wanted to travel down to make it to this homecoming because we'd never been, and we wanted to try it out. So it was the day of homecoming, like the big day with the tailgate and everything like that, and where my parents live and where I actually currently live right now. I didn't live there. I didn't live here permanently then. But where I currently live now, the Ubers are, let me just say, very unique. There's like every Uber here is unique. Like it's always going to be something, right? It's never normal. So we were going to the tailgate, and of course we ordered an Uber. So we get into the Uber, and as soon as we get into the Uber, I'm like, hold on, is our Uber smoking? Yes, our Uber was smoking a cigarette. I know, isn't that interesting? Like, could you imagine ordering a taxi and you get in and your Uber or your taxi driver or Uber driver is hotboxing the Uber before their passenger gets in? I know, wild stuff. But yeah, I was like, so whatever. Not too pressed about it, honestly. We were on our way to have a good time. Uber's having a good time in himself. So I can only imagine a lot of other people would not take too kindly of stepping into their Uber, and their Uber is smoking. Anyways, thinking about pushing my pawn right here. Take. Wait, hold on. Boom, 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 boom. No, not going to do that just yet. Let me just do an incremental move, something like this. So yeah, we're like, he's like, is it okay if I'm smoking? I'm sorry. We're like, yeah, we're chill about it, whatever. We're not too pressed. We weren't too pressed about it. But we had a theory later on that it was a plan, right? It was like a lure in technique, because he asked us, so you guys got the goods on you? And when I mean the goods, I mean the devil's lettuce. He was like, do you got the devil's lettuce on you? And we were like, no, we don't. And he was like, are you guys crazy? You guys all right? Like, you're going to homecoming and you don't have the goods on you? And then he was like, I got you guys. I'm going to take you to my son's friend's place. Right? So super, super sketchy so far. As you can already imagine, super sketchy stuff. We were like, all right, we were just going with the flow, honestly. No cares. and no worries in the world. We were like, okay, well, he's about to go take us somewhere, and he took us to this abandoned parking lot. It was this building with like, and we go in, it was like a movie scene, I swear. There were like pillars. It was like a decimated parking garage. We went in, everything looked abandoned, and at this point I was like, okay, we're getting set up or something. Like something's going on. What exactly is going on? But still, we're still going with the flow. And we trusted him because he was he was nice enough. He didn't seem too sketchy. Although that's usually how you get like sucked into sketchy stuff like that, because the person that you trust, you probably shouldn't be trusting him, but he's trustworthy because he's, giving the illusion or whatever that he's a trustworthy person. But he seemed trustworthy enough. Again, we were having a good time, homecoming, no worries in the world. So hey. So we get into the parking lot, and then we go into the building, and it was a hall. It was a hallway going down to the right, and then we went to the left, and then we went into another door in the left. And how do I explain this? There was a couch right there, and there was a table, and we were like, okay, so this is an operation going down, obviously going on right here. And ladies and gentlemen, the Uber driver took us to the trap house. Uber driver lured us in. He was hotboxing the Uber, I think, to make sure that we were okay with like that kind of thing. He was taking it step by step. So officially, we were in the trap house, and we were too far in at this point. It's like, this is our Uber driver. He lured us in. And we're like, okay. And the next crazy thing that happened, it was a dude who came out of one of the other rooms and put pounds of a huge bag with, I don't know how much of the devil's lettuce, but it was a lot, and just boom on the table. That was definitely not one thing that I thought was going to happen when I woke up that day. I was like, yeah, this is the last thing that I thought would have happened, but it was happening. And when we are going to take this bishop, don't mind if I do. So the huge bag of the devil's lettuce is on the table, and we are just completely just flabbergasted. And the thing, he was like, oh, this is my son's friend. Like, this is my guy. This is my guy. So you're like, all right, whatever. And the guy's like, you want a cop? Now, this is what I mean by disclaimer. Please do not. This was the dumbest thing ever. Like, the most sketchy thing. The things that are out there, do not trust. You never know what could be on the devil's lettuce, right? You never know. But we did cop. We did cop some of the devil's lettuce. We were like, well, yeah, whatever. Let's do it. I asked my friend, who was like, you down? He was like, yeah, I'm down, whatever. Oh, and we get the fork. Oh, and this is a devastating move for my opponent right here, because we are just attacking so much stuff going on. Go ahead and take the rook, and we are still aiming at that rook, so we cop, right? And it's not completely out of my mind that I'm like, okay, this is definitely some sketched out stuff, but I'm like, there's no way the Uber driver is going to take us, we consume this stuff, and then we vanish off of the face of the earth. that was a very unlikely circumstance that I thought was going to happen. So that is why what is going on here? Let me just go ahead and activate the queen. That's what I was like, whatever, let's do it. So, boom, we get it. The Uber driver drops us off outside of the school, and we have it, and we're like, all right, let's consume it and see what happens, I guess. Again, not the smartest thing of all time. Please, again, do not replicate these actions. If the Uber driver takes you to the trap house, please refrain from the temptations, right? Anyways, so before we get into the homecoming, we spark it up, and let me tell you, I kind of got panicked a little bit because I took one, and it definitely had some like spray stuff on it, right? It definitely was not the most natural. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have just been laced and I'm going to die. So I literally took one puff and threw it into the grass. I'm like, I was prepared. Like, I was prepared for it because I was stupid enough to even do it in the first place. And then after like 2 minutes, I was like, oh no, it's fine. And I picked it back up, and we finished the rest. So that is the story of the Uber driver taking us to the trap house. Very, very crazy experience. You know, life is very unpredictable. The craziest things happen when it's least expected. And that was definitely least expected, right? And let's go ahead and win this game. Our opponent is in deep, deep trouble. Deep, deep trouble. Deep, 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 deep trouble. Go ahead and go here, and in the next few moves there should be a checkmate somewhere like there. Well, we get the job done, and yeah, that is the story. And yeah, again, when I took the one puff, I was like, hold on, this is different. Like, they definitely put some stuff on it. Thankfully it wasn't anything lethal, right? But they definitely, I think, put something on it, and it was just a very, very intense elevation. Very intense elevation. Nothing like I had ever felt before, which is why I kind of panicked at first. But then it was okay. I'm still here living, talking to you. I do not consume the devil's lettuce any longer. I quit, and I recommend you do the same. Brain is much clearer. My lungs feel great. So I recommend to at least cut back, and to do it less often than you already do. But yes, it is your life. You can do whatever you want, do whatever you please. But yeah, that's all I got for today. I hope you have found peace in your day, and I will see you in the next one.